Hello, before the video begins, this will contain heavy spoilers for Alrawabi School for Girls. If you still haven't watched it, just binge it. It's 6 episodes. It's on Netflix, and if you don't have Netflix, just pirate it off of somewhere. Enjoy the video. Alrawabi School for Girls is a Netflix original miniseries set in Jordan about a girl who gets back at her bullies in different ways. It touches on a lot of sensitive subjects like bullying, harassment, sexual assault, mental health in the Middle East and how it's handled, and what's it like growing up as a female in the Middle Eastern society. The show itself got a lot of criticism, whether it's for good reason or just completely stupid reasons. Either way, it got a lot of controversy surrounding it, which was mainly a bunch of angry dudes going, "Well, I as a cis man think that." Although, I'm not here to devalue any valid criticism a man might give, but I will say that that is what I've seen most men say about this show. Now, as a Middle Eastern woman who isn't from Jordan, I'm not gonna sit here pretending like I know everything, so do take my word with a slight grain of salt. This is just me talking about my experience living in a similar environment. I'm gonna be talking about certain things I liked about the show, the positives and the negatives. First thing, I'll start out with the positives. I like how it touches on, sensitive subjects. Not many Arab dramas do this. And while there are, many shows that do show things like sexual assault and mental health, not many of them put them into a teen setting, and, especially not show them in a non-demonizing light. Although, the show isn't perfect in its showing of these things, but it still does a better job than most, Arab dramas. So I'll give it that. The second thing that I really like about the show is it shows the inherent misogyny of Middle Eastern society. A lot of shows will try to steer clear of addressing such things, but Alrawabi School for Girls faces these issues head-on, showing the honor killings that happen and how common it is to hear about these incidents. The show also isn't afraid of showing how women are objectified in these types of environments. And it might not make sense to some Western viewers, but if you live in the Middle East, you might have heard something along these lines.
البنت ما إلها إلا سمعتها. زي لوح الأزاز بالضبط، إذا انكسر ما بيتصلح وإذا تصلح ما بيرجع زي أول. وإنتي هلأ لوح أزاز مكسور.
This type of line really hits home for a lot of us because in some variation you've heard this sort of line somewhere before, whether it's family, school, or even your own friend group. Young women can't just be, young women. They have to represent their families and keep face and try not to screw up because not only is society gonna scrutinize you, your own family might abandon you. And the writer/director, Tima Shomali, did a fantastic job of capturing that. Sorry, didn't mean to go on a rant there. Continuing. Third thing that I really liked about the show, Noof. That's it. I mean, have you seen her? Yeah, no, Noof. My next point being, how it handles anger and letting go of grudges. I really like this about the show. We see this in our two main characters, Noof and Maryam. Both have been wronged by the main antagonist, Leanne, and they join forces to concoct this plan to destroy Leanne and her friends, Rania and Ruqayya. In the process, Noof learns a lot about these girls and sees how, unlike in a lot of American teen movies who don't show this kind of thing, these things can ruin their lives. I've noticed a lot of movies/series will brush them off as just, silly, goofy things that teenagers do. But here we see Noof realize that what she's doing is wrong, and she begins to let go of this grudge and starts to empathize and realize, after a good old bit of character development for Leanne and Rania, that they can be good people. And as Noof realized this, Maryam is still stuck on her ways. And in a way, we can't really blame Maryam for being mad. She has every right to be mad. But at the same time, we know these girls change, so it's this thing where we know that no one is truly evil. They're just young. Also, Maryam in this is giving me very strong Jason Dean from Heather's vibes. 10 out of 10. And of course, now that I've sung my praises to the heavens about the positives, let's head up to the stuff I didn't like. Oh boy. The dialogue is very awkward at times. While I do get why they made the girls sprinkle in a little bit of English every now and then, it just feels really forced, you know? As well as some conversations that can feel really scripted. Also, I did see a lot of complaints about people about how they used modern Jordanian accent, but I can't really comment on that. For me, it wasn't too jarring. I don't know. Any Jordanian viewers out there, please tell me if it's weird. Second thing about the show. You might not like it, but I'm gonna say it. I hate the fact that they were, in a way, romanticizing college students getting with whole-ass high schoolers. It's just... ew. And while I understand saying shit like, oh, but it's only 3 years, it's not that bad, think of the power imbalance of that relationship. He has his life sorted out. He has funds for the future. He's looking for jobs and/or worrying about his job, when all she has to worry about is her school field trip. She's 17, for fuck's sake. How is this not weird to y'all? Also, side note, but have you noticed that the only guy surrounding their age, aka Tariq, is seen as immature, undesirable? Not just by Maryam, but also they try to portray it to us, the audience. That thing I didn't really like. I felt like there were some points that I felt really underdeveloped and would have loved to see more, like, development of. Like, for example, Maryam's mental health. I feel as though that point was just brushed off too quickly. I would have loved to see something like one of Leon's friends maybe deal with a mental illness. Maybe they could have brought back Ruqayya and have us see how she, deals with her mental illness. And how she would feel, hurt by Leon's words, or something like that, Also, I feel like they could have shown more earlier how, abusive and downright creepy Leon's brothers are. Like, I understand it's hinted in the scene with the car with her brother, but I feel like they could have done a bit more earlier, Also, that plot twist where Laith was the principal's son was so out of left field. At least just once we see, maybe Laith and Miss Abir in the same place, but no! Plot twist! Shocking! Are you shocked yet? Now, my overall thoughts and reviews for this series, it's not perfect. Hell, there are flaws to be discussed about the series. But overall, I feel like this is a step in our direction where future directors aren't afraid to talk about taboo subjects and shed light on them. And overall, for the first series with an all-female cast, I'd give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. I do hope this can be an inspiration to female filmmakers and actresses to follow their ambition, because results as we've seen so far are really amazing. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Hope you like the drawing that I made and the fan art that I made. Smash subscribe, like, for this type of content, maybe.